Okay, we're getting warmed up into the debate, heading up to 9 o'clock. Jyotiraditya Scindia, welcome. Jyotiraditya Scindia, question one to you. Is this more a 4-0 defeat for the Congress than a 4-0 victory for the BJP? Is it more a 4-0 defeat for the Congress than a 4-0 victory for the BJP?
I don't want to answer that question. Political
What?
party to internalize what it means for that political party. I don't think by.
You know the meaning of the question?
I do. I think very clearly that this has been a very demoralizing result for us. More so in the states of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh and Delhi. And
Why do you think there's such an anti-Congress wave in the country?
I don't agree with your statement. I think that's an assumption, that a hypothesis that you're making. I don't think that's necessarily the case. We have discussed many times, Arnab, on your channel, that state elections are fought on state issues. By your logic, there should have been a very pro-Congress wave when we won the states of Karnataka, Himachal and Uttarakhand. But that certainly was not the case on your channel. So I don't think that you should make that hypothesis. It's very clear that we need to introspect and take these results very seriously. There's no doubt about that. And I, for my part, as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned, take full blame for the results. Very clearly, I have not been able to deliver.
No, you don't think there's an anti-Congress wave?
I don't.
You don't think there's an anti-Congress wave? We'll get. You don't think there's an anti-Congress wave? Let's debate that, Jyotiraditya Scindia. I think you're staring down the barrel right now. You're in Andhra Pradesh. You are totally under threat. You have barely made it in Kerala. In Tamil Nadu, you are a third player. In Orissa, you are a third player. In West Bengal, you are a non-existent player. You are a non-entity in Uttar Pradesh. You are a political non-entity in Bihar. In Madhya Pradesh, you have been routed. In Chhattisgarh, you have lost. In Gujarat, you are out of reach. And yet you think that today there's no anti-Congress wave in the country. Anyway, I won't get into a debate with you because Chandan Mitra wants to.
Yes, absolutely. But I think this is the same Arnab Goswami that hold on. I think this is the same Arnab Goswami that I was hearing in 2008. And this is the same scenario, and this is the same Arnab Goswami I'm hearing in 2008 that I'm hearing today. But we produced a result of 206 in 2009. So therefore, all that I'm requesting you and urging you, Arnab, is do not extrapolate. This is certainly a very serious situation. These are not results that in any way any political party will be content or happy with. And I think that has been very adequately articulated by the Congress president and the vice president. And I think we need to internalize that and act on that. Because certainly it's a very warning sign for us.
On top of it, you try everything. You make poverty into an election slogan. You make communalism into an election slogan. You take populism as an election slogan. None of this works for you. We have multiple questions coming for you. The entire panel here wants to get into the debate with you, Jyotiraditya Scindia, on this one. And I'm going to let them. But after Chandan Mitra takes you on, which he's been waiting for. Chandan Mitra, yes. There is no anti-Congress wave. This is a media creation, says Jyotiraditya Scindia.
This is the problem, that every time the Congress...
Arnab, don't put words in my mouth.
They start living in denial. And right now, Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia does not see an anti-Congress wave. What will make them see? I mean, this is a virtual tsunami against the Congress, and you still don't see a wave against you. But I'm surprised, because you are no longer a kind of newcomer in politics, Mr. Scindia. You have long political experience by now, and you know the circumstances in which you won Uttarakhand by 1 seat. And in Karnataka, the elections were held after a particular situation. You know that very well. So don't kind of attribute those victories and say, why was there no anti-BJP wave being discussed then? Because there was no anti-BJP wave. And here, on the other hand, there is a palpable anti-Congress wave when your Delhi Chief Minister loses by such a large margin. It is reduced to 8 seats in an assembly of 70. You are routed in Rajasthan, you are routed in Madhya Pradesh, and in Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Shivraj Singh scores a hat-trick, Mr. Raman Singh scores a hat-trick in Chhattisgarh, and you still don't see an anti-Congress wave.
No, one second. Let Mr. Scindia respond once before we get the panel back into the debate. Yes, Mr. Scindia, you want to respond to it?
All I want to say,
Arnab,
if you just give me an opportunity, all I want to say that it's very important to be humble in victory and with grace in defeat. And on your channel, the first thing I'd like to do is congratulate the BJP. More specifically, congratulate Shivraj Singh Chauhan in my state.
Thank you.
For the show that they've put up. Very clearly, I think it's a mandate against the Congress. the only urging that I'd request of you is not to extrapolate this into an anti-Congress sentiment across the country. It certainly is an anti-Congress mandate.
I am not extrapolating. These are the these are the general observations, and trust me, Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia, I think, I know you for long, and you know that if the BJP was in this kind of a situation, and if BJP had this kind of a response, I would ask the same question to them. It was a Kamraj-like plan you wanted in April 2012 for Congress ministers to offer to resign and work for the party. What happened to that? June 2013, you made organizational changes in the party. What happened after that? You pulled out the SOPs. What's happened after that? You criticized Narendra Modi. What's happened after that? And you put out the food security bill. Today, the question really is that Rahul Gandhi campaigner, and I'll come to this later, is the real problem, and I'm putting this, by the way, the panel wants to get into the debate with you, is the real problem right now that you need somebody who can emerge as a tough, charismatic leader to take on Narendra Modi? Is that part of the problem? Ashok,
can I answer that proposition? Now, I may be wrong, and as
you do that.
As Chandan Mitra ji said himself, I've only had 12 years in politics. But I may be wrong, but I certainly believe that state elections are a very, very different prospect from a national election. In a state election, what works for any political party, Arnab, and you may disagree with me, but here's my proposition. What works for any political party is surely strong central leadership, but it has to be based on a foundation of very strong state leadership. The BJP clearly had that combination.
Again, you're insulating Rahul Gandhi.
I'm not insulating anyone. I'm just, please hear what I'm saying before you comment on my statement. Very clearly, the BJP had that combination in these 4 states. We clearly did not. We had that combination in Karnataka, Himachal, and Uttarakhand. So I truly believe that.
With a question.
We have 5 questions for you from 5 panelists. I must give them their turn. Ashok Malik goes first. Please listen to the questions here, one after the other.
Two questions
for Jyotiraditya Scindia.
Both refer to your state, Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah.
You've now lost 3 state elections in a row, 3 successive elections in a row there. In 2018, when the next assembly elections take place, your party would have spent 20 years without winning an assembly election in Madhya Pradesh. Are you worried that the state is slipping away irretrievably, like Gujarat or like Tamil Nadu? My second question, you were projected as chief ministerial candidate, perhaps with too little time. If you'd been projected 6 months earlier, do you think it would have made a difference?
So, to answer your first question, first of all, it would have.
Another question?
Can I just quickly respond to this, if I may?
Yeah, good.
Okay, so to answer your first question, I think it will be 15 years and not 20 years. That being said, that is of no solace to us. I think as a Congress party worker, I think I should have sleepless nights as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. 15 years of space of governance being occupied by another political party should certainly give us sleepless nights, and I certainly will have sleepless nights over it. As far as your second question is concerned, I'm not in a position to answer what if, but I can answer this, that I was given a mandate as campaign committee chief, not necessarily as projection as chief minister, but certainly as campaign committee chief, and I failed to deliver on that mandate.
Why not as chief minister? Why not as chief minister? It's all right. I appreciate that. You are, unlike other leaders, you come here and take responsibility. Unlike other leaders who I will not name, you're not saying everyone else is responsible. I'm going to get aggressive with everyone else. But that's great. But the fact is,
I must compliment him for that.
Well, I'm sure he takes your compliments as gracefully as he has so far, but that's not the point. We are not talking about it. We can all be very graceful and polite after election result, but let's be direct. What is the Congress party strategy to counter Mr. Narendra Modi? We have specific questions.
Mr. Scindia, you just spoke about the fact that we have to build strong state leaders. The Congress doesn't have them. So given the fact that there are 4 months left for the general election,
it's too late.
do you think you should now just start manipulating regional forces and prop up regional forces?
Hartosh is asking another question. Hartosh.
Mr. Scindia, it's refreshing to see you take personal responsibility, but shouldn't that principle extend to the very top? The decision to field you late, the decision to select candidates, the decision on the basis on which the state elections were organized. Who bears responsibility for that?
Why does Jyotiraditya Scindia take personal responsibility and not Rahul Gandhi? Let's be very specific.
Okay, so
why are the rules different
Arnab,
for your party vice president?
Can we just repeat the first question, because I missed what the first question?
No, we'll go for the second. The first question was whether you should build your relationship with regional parties.
Okay.
But I actually want an answer to the second question.
Yeah, I'm going to answer both. I'm going to answer both in the order that they were posed. As far as the first question is concerned, the building of state leadership is for ensuring that you have victory in the state elections. As far as the national elections is concerned, as far as the national elections are concerned, we had the same scenario in 2008. We returned with 206 MPs in 2009. That's not to say that the writing on the wall is extremely ominous. The writing is ominous, and I'm the first to say that. And I think we need to get our act together over the next 6 months. As far as the second question is concerned,
you're batting well. You're batting well. You're batting well. But tonight you're going to have to face a pace of bowling which you may not be prepared for, Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia.
I'm conceding the fact that the writing on the wall.
You know, the fact is, this is politics. You know what? You didn't answer my question. Everyone wants to
allow me to
that Jyotiraditya Scindia takes personal responsibility. Why does Rahul Gandhi not have to take personal responsibility?
Well, I think he has, because he came out after the Uttar Pradesh elections and said it's my responsibility, and I have not performed. And as far as these 4 states are also concerned, he said, I have heard the voice of the people, and it's very clear, and we need to go back to the drawing board and we need to restructure. I don't think one can be more explicit than that.
We've heard that many times.
That's not what he said, Jyotiraditya Scindia. What he said was that he will aggressively take up issues within his own party, which means that he is doing everything right. It is the party which is not getting the formula right, and that's what he needs to correct.
I think if you replay his statement, he very clearly said that we heard the voice of the people, and that is not only in our minds, but we've heard the voice of the people in our hearts. And we must look at restructuring the party. Please play that statement again.
Mr. Scindia, I remember what he said. I'll play the tape out. I'll just repeat what he said. He said both the major parties are thinking about politics in a traditional way. The non-traditional approach works.
Arnab, you're being very selective, because that was his comment with respect to AAP. Okay, it was not with his comment with respect to the results. His opening comment, if you replay his opening comment, he very clearly said, we have heard the voice of the people, not in our minds, but in our hearts. And we will take it upon us to take this voice and act upon it within the Congress party.
Well, I don't think I completely agree with your interpretation of that, but you have a right to have it. Nircha Chaudhary and Sankarshan Thakur have more questions. One of the questions which emerges in our mind is, how is the Congress party now going to counter Modi? You see, raking up the Gujarat riots, you've raised it repeatedly. Some people will say maybe that is not working. The Snoopgate scandal is not working. The fake encounters row, the court cases are not working. Projecting Narendra Modi as a pro-rich, pro-corporate person, whereas you are pro-poor, is not working. The food security bill is not working. So the number of things not working.
Okay, so
Which arrow in your quiver will you now pull out, Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia? Is just a thought I'd like to share with you. Nircha is the next question.
Mr. Scindia, I would like to ask, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi said today that we will declare our prime ministerial candidate.
If you allow me to
let him respond
to Arnab's question.
Okay.
First of all, Arnab, there's too much of arrows and too many quivers happening in Indian politics. And I want to make that statement on your channel first out. I think politics is not about should not be about opportunism and putting the other person down. You must come out with your own agenda and what is it that you want to do, and let the people choose between 2 positive agendas. That's the way that I think, very clearly. 1. 2, I really don't believe that this is manifestation of a Modi wave, because if this were a Modi wave, Arnab, then you would see a wave across all 4 states. You have not seen that. We have lost Chhattisgarh by 3 or 4 seats. Delhi has been a contest between AAP and the BJP. They still don't have the numbers to make government. If it was a Modi wave, then you should have seen the kind of manifestation that you have in Chhattisgarh, in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan happening in Chhattisgarh and Delhi, which has not been the case. Number 3, I think it's very clear that the Congress party has to come out with our own agenda, why we should be chosen for a 3rd time, as opposed to showing some other party or someone else down. I don't think that is what this country wants.
In other words, the anti-Modi plank is not working, is it?
I'm a little surprised right now, and I'm completely confused, because it's not a pro-Modi wave you are saying, Mr. Scindia. It's not an anti-Congress wave you are saying, Mr. Scindia. Then what on earth is it?
I will tell
because
you what
the results are certainly not a normal result. Meghnad Desai is the next question for you, Meghnad Desai.
Oh, let me ask
Watch. By the way, Nirja Chaudhary had a question before that. So sorry.
Mr. Scindia, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi said today that we will announce our prime ministerial candidate at an appropriate time. So far, your party has taken the position that it's the Congress as a collectivity that's going to fight the elections. Do you think there can be a rethink on this issue before the next general election?
I am not in a position, Nirja, to comment on that.
Okay, he's ducked that obviously. I mean, he's a minister in the government. He can't answer that. Lord Meghnad Desai. I mean, by the way, may I at one stage? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I just want to appreciate you for standing by this grilling. It's important that you're answering the questions. It's good you're ducking a few, but it's good that you're answering the questions.
Lord Meghnad Desai, I don't duck questions.
You know, Jyotiraditya, all day today we have heard from every Congress representative this litany that 2008 and 2009 contrast ought to be borne in mind. So we should not take 2013 seriously because 2014 is going to be a repetition of the 2008-2009 thing. Right. Do you think that is an automatic repetition, or do you think Congress will have to do something between now and then to secure a reversal result? And if so, what?
30 seconds reply, Mr. Scindia.
I think, first of all, Lord Desai, I think that's a very good question. I don't think it's an automatic repetition. It cannot be, because we live in a democracy. I think there's a very, very clear signal in many ways that we need to get our act together. And there needs to be over the next 6 months, and 6 months is a long time in politics, especially Indian politics. But we have a space of 180 days, and we need to restructure and put things in place. What those things are, I don't have ready answers for you today. I would be being facetious if I told you that these are the 4 things we need to do. But what is very clear among the things that we need to do is really put together a better communication and marketing strategy. We have done a lot of good things, but those good things have not been sent as clear signal among the people. We really need to bolster our communication strategy. We have got, for the first time in this country, a rights-based program over the last 10 years. But certainly, the efficacy and the advantages of that has not permeated down to the grassroots, which we need to do. So that's one of the things. But if you ask me what is the laundry list, I don't have all the answers right now.
I think we should cut some slack. Yes, Mr. Chandan Mitra, very briefly.
Yeah, very briefly. I'm just saying, just comment on Mr. Scindia's last statement, that communication failure. I've been hearing this from Congress people for God knows how long, from Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's time. And I just want to point out that you have these rights programs, entitlements and so on and so forth. And people know. It is not that they are ill-informed, they know everything. But when you give them, food at a subsidized rate and all that, and at the same time you fail to completely control prices, the impact is totally nullified and people get angry with you. So unless you can manage the economy better, which is not possible, you had 10 years to do it, you could not manage. Now in the last 6 months you think you can change the whole scenario. I think it's absolutely impossible.
Chandan Mitra, having said that, because I'm totally short of time, so I don't have time for Mr. Scindia to respond, I think we thank Mr. Scindia for taking those 17 questions in succession. Well done, Mr. Scindia. Thank you very much. And to Sachin Pilot and Jyotiraditya Scindia, one after the other in succession, to take 50 questions from our panel is commendable. Thank you very much for that. Now, Super Prime Time, 9 p.m. debate is coming up on the other side. What's the impact of a 4-0 verdict? Back soon.